Okay, so we just finished a print on the Elegoo Mars here. I've taken off the build plate and hung it at an angle with the provided holders so we can drip some of that resin that's on there and, try not to... And, always wear your gloves when you're handling this stuff. Any of this resin is caustic. You don't want it on you. So whenever you get a chance, wear gloves and safety glasses. Sometimes the resin can even splash up on you if you drop something, and it's just not worth it. So go ahead and wear what you need to keep yourself safe. Take this print off the build plate. I printed it directly on the build plate, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to remove than if it had, let's say, like supports and an amount below the print. So just using my handy dandy scraper might not be enough because you can't really get up underneath there. So what I do is I take a utility knife and kind of slowly start to work it under in spots. And you want to try and take it off as evenly as you can so you don't rip off one side and leave half the print on there. There you go. So now both my pieces are off. While I've got it, you know what? I'm just going to take it and clean it. Get this surface as clean as you can get it. And then also get off any residuals that you had on the top as the build plate drops down into the vat. And it's hard to get those prints off without holding this and possibly moving the build plate. So it's a good practice to just go ahead and level your build plate every time you do a print. Some people never level it, but if you hold it by the build plate itself when you go to scrape off the material, you run the risk again of slicing a finger or something like that. If you grab it down here, you run the risk of moving the build plate off of the ball joint there. So anyway, the primary is to get this clean, and then if you have to, just go ahead and re-level it when you put it back up there. So basically I'm going to take my prints and put them in this mean green solution I have. Some people use IPA or isopropyl alcohol. I'm using mean green. There's a lot of different schools of thought on that. But we want to make sure that we clean this really good so there's no residual resin on there when we're done before we go into the curing tank. Okay? Because I think the last time we did it, we left a little bit on there and it cured. That's the other thing. If you have anything inside of your solution there, it's going to stick to the other print. So keep your solution as clean as possible. If you got to filter it through a paper filter, that helps. Okay, so in addition to cleaning the print, I'm going to kind of wipe some of the residual resin off my gloves. It's really hard because, you're working with gloves to protect yourself, but, sometimes you leave too much resin on there too. So this way you can handle the part and not get more resin on it after you just cleaned it. That makes sense. Okay. Then I'm going to pop it in my water solution, like a rinse solution here, or a rinse tank, and I'm going to shake it up. It's all tight, so nothing's going to fly in. I just want to make sure I get that thing as clean as possible. Okay. So it's looking good. I don't see any residual resin. Alright. So now I'm going to pop these two items into the curing chamber cure them for about 5 minutes. They're pretty thin, small. And see how the surface finish looks. Okay.